Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lisa DeMauro, and I am joined by my husband, Chris DeMauro, and we are the Talking Gravesend podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to celebrating William DeMayo's streaming series, Gravesend. Today, we are going to talk about Season 2, Episode 5, Dust in the Air.
Dust in the Air, yeah, a little bit of angel dust episode right off the bat.
A little bit of angel dust?
A lot going on in this episode. Before we jump into it, Lisa, like we always do, we just wanted to extend a very warm thank you and all of our gratitude for all of our fans, all of the support that we have been receiving from the cast of Gravesend. We love the reposts, the messages. Thank you so much. Keep them coming.
Yeah, we appreciate the support.
Yeah,
it really means a lot.
We want to promote this show. We want to promote all of the appearances and, quite frankly, the talent that's put forth on the screen. So we're having a lot of fun. Let's jump in.
All right, here we go. So the show opens to three gentlemen leaning up against a wall. I guess they're partaking in what we find out are those.
Yeah, it's a dip. So
a dip cigarette.
So what it is, Lisa, is they're smoking angel dust, and angel dust from what I've never done it, right? So what I understand is they take cigarettes and they dip it in formaldehyde, which is embalming fluid. And if you ever dissected like a pig in high school or a worm, that smell that was in the classroom, that's the formaldehyde smell. I don't know how the
What is wrong with people?
What is wrong with people that they want to smoke fucking embalming fluid in a cigarette? So, and the scene opens with it's a guy named Armand Matteo as Teddy, Dominic LaRufa Jr. as Larry, and Chris Lazaro as the Angel Dust Pauly.
Angel Dust Pauly,
Sorry,
yes.
Pauly, you got a really rough name. So he said he never tried it before, and he goes, hey, you used to never smoke weed, and now you smoke it almost every day.
Right.
Try this Angel Dust, kid.
Yeah, so he goes in for a toke. He goes in for a second toke. And then he jumps on his bike.
He jumps on his bike. He's fucking high as a kite, I guess.
You see his little montage. He's riding his bike, and then boom!
I thought Angel Dust made you hyper.
I don't know. Is that PCP? Is that the same thing?
It's the same thing, yeah, because my friend was a cop down in...
Oh, yeah, I thought that used to make you wild.
My friend Harry Bruin was on the police force down in Washington, D.C. for like 28 years. And he told me the worst drug he ever saw was PCP and angel dust. He said he had a guy jump off a roof and run with broken legs on that shit.
Well...
So I thought it made you hyper. But Angel Dust Pauly looked pretty fucking mellow.
Well,
I don't know.
Who knows what else he was doing? But all I know is that the guy that got on his bike, he had some energy to go riding. So
he got hit by a car.
Yeah, so he got T-boned. We see a bloody face.
So we cut to the we cut right to the Gravesend intro by Lords of Brooklyn, and then we open the scene with Sammy inside of a mausoleum.
Yes.
He's looking at his mother Nancy's grave, I believe her name is, and of course we've got a tear, and then he's thinking about his mom, right? And a mausoleum is if you don't know what a mausoleum is, gang, it's a place for an inside grave, right, rather than outside. My Nunu,
someone's cremated.
My Nunu's in a mausoleum here up in Springfield Cemetery. Yep. So then we cut to 5:27 on the timeline, almost right away, and we're at the marina with Mikey the Hat, and he's giving Sammy a little talk.
Yeah, he's talking to his nephew Sammy, and they're talking about being home in their new home base here.
And he's bringing him up to speed. He gives him a new beeper. You know, I think I have a few minutes of it here. Let's take a look.
That I want you to know.
Yeah, the beeper. Okay. Everyone gets the beeper. Such a sign of the times.
Most important is no drugs. You don't take them, you don't talk about them, and most of all, you don't sell them.
So let's just stop that really quick. He just said it right there. He said, look, first rule, no drugs. We don't sell them. We don't talk about them, not even pot. And then he goes on, he goes, whatever you did back home, that was the past. We don't worry about that.
Whatever you did in Miami, that's the past. Okay?
So then he gives him the beeper. So he gives him the beeper.
He gives him the beeper, and he says, you know what? I don't care what you're doing. I call. You're going to answer my call.
Yeah, that's right.
He says something very inappropriate. I'm actually.
You're not gonna.
I actually am going to be good and not repeat what he says for the first time.
So then we jump right to a little introduction, and we always like to play introduction. So let's go ahead.
I'm going to introduce you to.
I'm going to introduce you to some of the guys.
Hey.
Here we go. New character time.
This is Nino, and this is Robert. Good guys. This is my nephew, Sammy.
Very nice to meet you.
How you doing, Sammy? Nice to meet you. Why don't you take him around? Show him the neighborhood. Like that.
Sure, Mikey.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later, right?
So this is great. You know, Mikey the Hat sets him up with some pals and show him around. So Nino's played by Frank Brannon, and Robert is played by Stephen Gregory. So these are two brand new characters, and these are going to be the fellas, the young men who are going to be in Benny's. It looks like Benny's getting a crew here in Brooklyn.
Yep, Benny's getting a crew together.
This is some of his guys. And then Mikey says he kind of looks up into heaven, and he talks to the sister, and he says he's going to be okay. Yep. He's going to be. So everyone's really talking to. Sammy was talking to his mom.
Yeah, I was going to say as that scene opened, Sammy was talking to his mom, who is Mikey's sister. So.
Yeah. So the next scene, the Grand National pulls up to a video store, and Benny and Gaetano go and have a little chit chat with Ryan.
With Ryan. So this was a fun scene. Do we have this here?
No, we don't. We don't.
So what's interesting is he calls Ryan out, and Ryan walks around the corner, and he says, "Oh, you're Rosemary's friend from the bar. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name."
Yeah, he didn't remember the name.
No, and Benny looks at him. He's like, "You don't remember my name? You should learn names." He goes, "I know my friend Gaetano's name. I know your name is Ryan." And towards the end of the scene, he mentions that he's like, "Oh, well, watching the videos is that like one of the best parts of the job." And he's like, and saying that, "Benny, I'm gonna get going.
I'm gonna get back." Yeah.
And I was just like,
Did he know his name?
You knew his name. So I was just wondering, was that a mistake in editing, or was he
playing dumb? Was he kind of playing dumb a little bit?
And being coy because he didn't want to give Benny the respect that he knows he rightfully deserved by acknowledging his name?
Yes.
But I just found that interesting. I was like, wait a minute, did he just call him Benny because he made it a point to not remember his name in the beginning? So
yeah, and he was like, she's like my niece. We're gonna pretty much say that, and seeing that we're family.
Yes, exactly.
So, I love the scene, absolutely. The one thing that I was surprised at, and I'm just gonna put this out there, and I don't know if this is just because of my personal experience. Maybe he wasn't young enough, but I was ready for Benny to pull in his pocket, pull out a wad, and peel him off a 50.
I was waiting for him to give him some cash too.
Take my niece out for a nice dinner next time. Don't take her to a bar.
Yeah.
That was going to be my thought, but he didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Faux pas?
I don't know. I would have peeled him off. I would have peeled him off 100. That's just me, though.
Yeah. So in the next scene, we see Benny meeting with Mikey in the Hat in the boatyard at night, and Benny's. They're talking a little bit. I guess Mikey the Hat brings up Maureen down in Florida.
Yeah.
He was like, what's going on with that down
with
there?
Her?
And he's like,
he mentions that he can't get into a major commitment right now. And that his heart still is with Virginia. And then I was surprised because I still wondered about this from season 1. Mikey the Hat says, and I'm sorry that I got you, that I had made the mention that her father's away for 100 years and have that dating Virginia.
Because he goaded him. He goaded Mikey the Hat.
And so did Chris Telva. Chris Telva told him, he's like, we talked about this in the other seasons. Was this a calculated move? Were they putting him into a position? I don't think I don't think it was a calculated move by Mikey. No, Mikey did not. But he also says that he thought it would be okay because of the relationship that he had with Charlie. Yep. So a lot of the guys were a little bit hopeful, but
I think so.
As I guess fathers may feel very protective of their daughters, so it doesn't matter. And
absolutely. So then they started talking about Tough Carmine, and Mikey starts to bring up what happened the night that Tough Carmine got shot.
Yes.
And Benny was like, I've never really got the whole story. And then Benny goes into it, and he tells Benny
and this story comes back full circle because he ends up having a conversation with Virginia when they had their fight. So this ties into that.
So here we go, back in time. Here's Chuck Zito.
Tough Carmine, here he comes.
They weren't even made guys, but they thought they were untouchable.
Fucking love this guy.
This Gerard was a prick.
Gerard, Larry, may become all the way to fucking Canarsie. Not only do you beat a friend of mine up, you use a baseball bat against him.
That's what happens when you think you're a fucking tough guy.
So he's standing there with his broken arm. He's in a cast.
So you two guys are fucking tough guys, huh? You talk
two
a
guys
lot
are
of
tough
shit.
guys?
And then he lets the words slip out. Carmine don't like what I did, then I'll do the same thing to him. Imagine that.
Even he's like, what is he, crazy?
He's like, he's nuts.
So you think you're a fucking tough guy?
So you think you're a tough guy?
I know it.
I know it. You look at Chuck Zito, you know he's a tough guy. I mean,
it's the way he carries himself. Watch this.
This is the best.
There's 5 of us.
He sizes
He's
everybody
sizing
up,
them all
right?
up.
He was like, I got this.
Well, it's not really fair odds now, is it? If I was you, I'd go get more people.
This next punch, he lays two of them out with the
does,
one punch.
he does.
He taps them both.
Look at that. The stomp. I like the stomp. He's got the fucking energy in it,
He's
too,
so
right?
mad. He's like, you hit me.
Oh, look at him.
Boom.
He's just like breaking bones with every fucking shot. He's a fucking animal, this guy.
Sound in this scene. I mean, every punch you feel it. You hear it. Yeah.
Fucking stomp. Just putting that work to that set of boots. Oh, I love that scene. Chuck.
So, oh, God. Yes.
Fucking animal in that scene. I love it. The way he clubs that guy right off the... It's like he doesn't even hit him square. He like the part of his fist there's... Just fucking lays the guy out.
Oh, it's so good. And so then he says, yeah, and I'm going to take it out. I'm going to fuck your brother up. And he starts beating the shit out of his brother. And then that's when the brother... shoots him. And it just is the look on his face. He's like, you fucking shot me.
And
like
the
he's shocked.
So, and then the color work was cool, too,
like
because
3 times. Yeah.
the blood was red, right? So it was a
Correct.
black and white scene. The blood comes out red, so you really feel it. And then Mikey goes in and says, look, these guys booked out of Brooklyn, but a few years later, they were stupid enough to come back, and that's when Tough Carmine finds them out on the... before we go?
Before you go there, one of the key things is that he said that Carmine told everybody, if the brothers come back, I don't want them to be touched.
Yeah, that's right. No one's to touch them.
Nobody's to touch them. And then I guess 3 years later, they
Here
were
we are, up on the
dumb
roof.
enough
Look
to
at
come
him.
back.
Boom.
They're like, no, Carmine.
Same color work. You see that? A little bit different. Oh, fucking pistol whips
He's
this
like,
guy.
no, Carmine, no.
Watch this.
He wish he got... And just the humor in this line. I guess you can't fly, huh, motherfucker? So good.
So what happens is that Mikey the Hat tells Benny that Salvi Vincenzo was in the car. He drove for this guy. He drove for
He was
Carmine.
driving Carmine.
And he was the one who ended up being a witness to the murder, and this is why Carmine's in jail.
And this is why Carmine is in jail, because that rat Salvi is the one that told that Carmine killed these guys. And I know you're about to go off.
No, please.
So something else that he says to Benny, just kind of like, he's like, so the moral is, if you're gonna kill somebody, make sure that nobody knows. And you're just like,
Yeah, he says, if you're gonna whack somebody, do it yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't noticed, everyone's really planting seeds in Benny's garden, right? They're like, we want Caesar gone. And we're going to just like keep sharing things with you that are going to help you come to that same conclusion.
Yes. Everyone has a certain direction that they're trying to push Benny. So
next scene, we're at the roller rink. And we've got Rosemary and Brian, and they're skating along at the roller rink, having fun. Nino and Robert are kicking back with Sammy, and they're having some burgers and beers.
Yeah, they're in the same outfits we saw them earlier when they were introduced. So they're hanging out at the roller rink, and they're just having conversation. Are you a skater? And he's like, yeah, I used to frequent some of the skate clubs down in Miami.
Was it Ryan or Nino? No, was it Robert or Nino who said, "Hey, a lot of hot girls down in Florida. It seems like a lot of hot girls here." Kind of interesting little. It's an interesting little comment.
Why?
Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
I've got a reason why. So, and then there's also some Polish kids who are, I guess, at the roller rink, and they were kind of like some of the Sammy and the gang, like, why don't they stay in their own neighborhood?
Yeah. They make some
So the Polish,
some racist jokes about the Polish folks, and then they watch them encounter. Basically, they watch them harass Rosemary.
Yeah, so they start harassing Rosemary. Ryan's in the bathroom. They're like, "Oh, you're really beautiful," this and that. And she walks out, and he grabs her ass.
He grabs her ass. So she slaps him in the face.
And then the fucking Polish kid cracks her right in the face.
This guy punched her in the face. And that's when everyone sees that, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And Christian DeMeo, I got to tell you, you sprung into like some Spider-Man action. That leap punch you do, it's great. We got it.
All right, I've got a little bit of it.
Good.
Let's talk about it. And yeah, because let me just try to see if we can zoom in here a little bit.
Oh shit! Rosemary just slapped him.
So here we go. Boom! She gets cranked. The boys jump into action. I mean, what kind of guy cranks a little girl? Watch this. Watch
Sammy
this.
grabs the skate.
Bam! I fucking love this. Sammy. Look at those
I mean,
smooth.
look at this.
The right and left.
This is the
Here's what
move.
Lisa was like. Fucking Spider-Man.
Totally, it's so good. I mean, this is like a beautiful.
Here we go. Here's
choreo.
Nino. They're in. Nino just jumps right in. He's fucking right crossing this kid.
This one here, the boom, boom,
Boom.
Oh yeah,
So
so smooth. You really must have rehearsed that.
So
scene
Sammy,
quite
how
often. That
I gotta
was
know,
so
Christian, how
good.
did you do the scene? How many takes did you take? I mean, that right-left combo that you threw was so smooth, and then the jump
Oh
down.
my God, so
it was like
so
I was like, what am I watching?
unnecessary.
Fucking Spider-Man all of a sudden? I mean, it's like a total action fucking superhero
it
movie
was really
all of a
great.
sudden.
It was really great.
And then just a quick note: you don't ever want to hit somebody with your feet off the ground. Anyway,
Yeah.
feet on the ground is an important way to make connections. That's where all the power comes through, right?
in the
Anyway, you also
weightlifting,
can-
in the weightlifting world, we call that foot drive.
foot drive, and you also can hurt your shoulder or your wrist, right? Because it's just a little fun thing.
But you know what? It looked really good.
It looked so good. It was a great scene. So then, what happens?
So then
after
the
that?
juice head security guards go through and beat the shit out of
Oh,
them.
that's right. So the security guards from the roller rink beat
Yep.
the crap, and that's what Sammy says. He goes, "Yeah, fucking way to go, tough guy, juice head," or something.
exactly.
Like that. That was a good line. Sammy's feeling his Brooklyn. He's coming back. I really like that. So now we're back to Benny sitting on the stoop, and he's just kicking back, and he's having a memory of when Charlie and him were getting his nails done, and they see a little of that horseshoe ring that we have.
Yes. And that scene is actually it's really fun because
You said Benny's staring at the rack on the girls doing
Benny's
that.
Benny
Getting their nails.
and it's interesting writing because we're looking at a nice pair of knockers, and then he is brought out of the memory to his gay friend Mario Cantone.
Yes.
So,
And this is a great scene. We're going to play the whole thing.
yeah, Franco's back.
So Franco's played by Mario Cantone. Of course you know Mario Cantone. Sex in the City. I mean, this guy is huge. He's from Massachusetts.
Yes,
We love you, Mario.
Mario
My
Cantone.
mom loves you. She asked me if I could get your autograph. I mean, she's like, oh my God, Mario Cantone's in this. So we're super excited to have you and to cover you in this scene. So let's talk a little bit let's watch it and then talk a little bit about it. Because it's a really fun scene.
No, you can really see the history and the camaraderie between the friendship
And how
here.
cool Benny Z is as a character.
Well, you know
that
I'm not here to see my father. Came to
Franco
say hello
feels
to
so
you.
comfortable and so much love for him.
Shit.
Especially during this time, as
Yes.
you know.
Sit here
Yes.
again, Benny.
Well, you've been gone for so many years. How's L.A.?
Been back from LA a few years now, Benny. Living in Manhattan again.
That's great. So what brings you back to the neighborhood?
I never forgot, Benny,
Mario is so believable.
what
in
you did
this.
for me.
Never forgot.
You were like a brother to me. And I still
Yes.
think about you every day like that, like a brother.
Franco lived on the block.
It's a big compliment.
We know it was always like family here.
Family.
Always like family.
My own father
We
still doesn't
grew up.
talk to me.
And he's so humble
Just
always.
that.
Still.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
You think I forgot what
See,
happened
and they
that day?
both share problems with their
Right
dad,
over there,
Yep,
with the
that-
stickball game.
and then they have the memory. Now, Lisa pointed this out to me just this morning.
Right away, I could tell in this scene that Benny's gonna have to wallop somebody.
And you know why?
And do you know why? Because he's wearing all
Wearing
black.
black. Anytime you see Benny Z in all black, shit's about someone's getting hurt. Just facts.
Yeah, someone's gonna get hit.
On your ass, right? I'm gonna go
And they're
right
playing
there,
stickball. Now, I didn't play stickball. I played handball, just for a
Look,
quick.
you're lucky we even let you play with us.
I
All right,
loved
go back and
handball.
Play with your Barbie dolls.
Shut the
I
fuck
don't
up,
even
right?
tell you who I played
Don't
handball
talk to
with.
him like that. What the fuck?
That's right.
See,
Here he is
and they're
sticking up to
making
his
fun of
friend.
Franco. They're making fun of saying, "Would you suck his dick like the other guy?"
He's like,
there he
"That's
goes.
it. Don't
and he
call."
doesn't use the stick. He throws the stick and he goes nothing but the bolos, right? Nothing but hands. Oh, and then Franco gets in.
And then
He
Franco
bites-
bites his face. He bit his face.
That asshole deserved it. It's because
That
of you.
asshole deserve it. So we get a little taste of Mario.
That's right.
He
And you never
is
judge me,
a
Benny.
great
My own
character.
father.
He's from
never
Brooklyn.
you.
Know,
never
just
judge me
because
either.
he
many
is
people?
gay doesn't mean he's not tough. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have heart. And he shows some heart. There's some heart shown right from that memory. And as we go forward, you're going to see even more of it. So just a great job, Mario. Love seeing you in that scene and really bring some diversity to the cast as well.
Absolutely. And so then now we're the next scene. We're with Tina Telva and Rosemary. Rosemary's in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and she's trying to put cover up on her black eye. from the rollers.
From the rollers free.
Yeah, and her mom comes in and she's pissed. She's just like, Rosemary, we've got enough shit going on with Dad being locked up. We didn't need a fight. I don't need you fighting with the girls. If you remember,
Rosemary got a page and she didn't ignore it, but she was like changing her clothes and getting her shoes on, and then the Polish kids made fun of her and grabbed her ass. So she just forgot to page her back, right? Or call her back.
Mom's like, what the hell? Who are you fighting with? Is it this boyfriend of yours?
Yeah, that's right. What this Ryan, put your hand. And he's like, I would never be with someone. And then it was one of your girlfriends. She goes, no, it wasn't. So we didn't get to finish who it was, but I mean,
well, they sit down and they have a conversation. But I would just like to acknowledge that Sophia Milos looks fabulous in that emerald green. That color is stunning on you. And she
kind of has like a little corset top with a little tie off in the back, and
it's quite cute. And
she's always got the chandelier earrings too.
Always. And then I love the stonewashed purple jeans that she's wearing with the bedazzled cut off denim.
Rosemary, they're like a pink stonewash. Like you said, the rainbow bedazzled.
I was like, oh my god, it's so 80s. So I really just love the scene.
Yeah, great job, wardrobe.
The styling in there.
So now we're at 22 minutes and 45 seconds. There's another sit down with Jimmy Beans, and we're back at the marina. And basically, they're talking to Tommaso and Benny are talking to him about the dozen pizzas that he took out of
Jimmy Beans is horrified. He's like, Benny, you called me out here to Sheepshead Bay to talk to me about some pizzas.
About pizza pies?
Yeah, exactly. But Benny wants to stand up for his joint.
He goes, we would respect your joint. He was like, if we were, I wouldn't ask for free pizza, so respect ours. And Jimmy Beans halfway, he does the right thing, but he does it in jest, right? He like pulls out his wallet. He's like, what is that, a dozen pizzas? What was that, $150? Here's $500. Keep the change.
He insults him and he's like, put it towards your clothing line. And you're just like, oh,
your little clothing line.
Yeah.
By the way, Benny's wearing a beautiful dark blue Brooklyn brand velour sweatsuit at that meeting, so he insults the brand. That was kind of fucking. That was a little low blow.
Yeah.
And Tommaso takes the money,
grabs the money, and puts it in his pocket.
Oh, you know what I wanted to mention really quick about that scene? In the back of that scene, we see this heavy that's always there, but he doesn't talk, right?
Yes.
And it's Vic is the name of the character.
He's always there.
And he's played by Rocco Melio, or is it Melio? I might be saying it wrong, Rocco, and I want you to correct me because we want to get your name right. Rocco's a great guy. He's a great actor. I follow him on Instagram, and he shows us a lot of love on the Talking Gravesend podcast.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you. Man, you lost a lot of weight. That's why I didn't know who you were at first. You know what I mean? Since this season 2 here. It took me. I had to scroll down a little bit in your feed. Anyway, thanks a lot, Rocco. All right, 24-16, Lisa.
All right, Sammy is getting out of jail. He's putting his blazer back on.
I like the music that's playing here.
Yes. And Mikey the Hat picks him up. And he, they have a little exchange, and he says, I'm going to go bring you for some pizza.
Yeah, I got a little scene of it here.
And he wants a cherry Coke, too.
Let me see. We'll take a little, just a quick view. Mikey gets in. She's like, already, because wherever there's trouble, there's Sammy. That's what Mikey used to say.
Those scumbags put their hands on Chris's daughter.
So I heard.
Wait, if you remember their conversation that they had when we're introduced to Sammy. In Florida, they're talking about him fighting all the time.
Wherever fighting, it's you. And you get blamed for it, he says.
These motherfucking cops.
So he goes on to say that, don't worry about those cops. Those are local cops. We know those guys. We just got to watch out for these FBI task force guys. And then he said something. He goes, you know what? You did right. He told Sammy he did right. Because if Sammy picked up that roller skate and freaking cracked that Polish kid across the face, I loved that scene. So great job. Fucking cracking someone with a roller skate. I never saw that before. So I was just like, he told me he did right. So I kind of like that scene. And just let Sammy know he's kind of on the right path.
Sure. He's protecting his own. He did the right thing. He doesn't like that he got arrested, but he understands it. So
the next scene, Rosemary's driving in her convertible Mercedes. And
this is just a cute. She is she's
cute.
Dolled up. She's in a, like a Parisian black and white stripe with the pearls, and she's got the glove, very Madonna-esque at the time.
And this is Charles Palminteri's daughter, Gabriella, so everybody knows. She's playing a great job. Like I said in one of the episodes, just the way she drives in her car, like when she's like this when she's pulling up by her boyfriend's place. Yeah, she has
a couple of really cute faces.
She's just got a really, and it is.
She's vibing herself.
She's trying to be herself, right? Because her character, her dad's the boss of the neighborhood. She's driven those streets with immunity and pleasure for years. So she's trying to be in that same headspace, and she's almost like forcing herself to be strong in that scene. So I really like that as they goes up to Ryan and they have a little sit down about what's been going on, and then Ryan says they think they should just be friends.
Yeah. And she says, you know, I don't need friends that look down on my family. And how is it that you didn't even hit any of those guys back? And he's like, what? And she's like, you're a fucking pussy.
You're a fucking pussy.
Which, she gets up and leaves.
Which the character clearly played it. He was a pussy. How are you going to be with a girl, have some guy hit the fucking girl, and you're not going to do anything? I would never show my face again.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly. I wouldn't be sitting on the stoop.
So then we move on to this guy in the park who's selling dip cigarettes. And I don't know the guy's name. We see a bunch of people walk in. So these are those angel dust dipped cigarettes. I guess they cost $20, and they seem like they're selling like hotcakes. Everybody's coming up to get them. And then we're back at Lenny's Pizza, and we see Lenny's sister pulling out a large cheese out of the oven.
That cheese looked pretty good.
Yeah, I'd give it a shot. And then Tommaso goes and talks to Lenny, and he gives him 200.
He gives him 200. Jimmy Beans laid out 5.
I got you 200 for the pizzas.
I got you 200.
So Tommaso kept $300 because Benny didn't take them away. I don't think he duped Benny.
No, he didn't dupe Benny anything. He took it all. He took it all.
And he says, we got your back, so don't worry about it.
But you know, Lenny kind of pushes back, and he's like, I don't want any problems.
Yep.
I don't want any problems. So.
That's what he says. Don't worry about it. He goes, I'm just trying to make an honest living. And Tommaso, I would have never let you marry my sister, who's a pain in the ass, by the way. You know what I mean? He goes, I know about it. And so you get the feeling that, you know, Tommaso does feel bad, and he feels like Lenny's losing confidence in him.
Yeah.
So then we jump to a really intense scene in 29 minutes and 11 seconds. So we're going to play this scene because it features Agent Morano and Gaetano sitting in that red interior. I think it's a Mercury, or I don't know. I haven't looked at it hard enough.
This scene is so good.
This is a really good scene, and it's got Paul Borghese and Chris Mermando, and these two have a dialogue together that is amazing. Paul has a way, and I don't know if it's just a care. I don't know if he's really trying to get underneath Gaetano's skin.
Right. Is he authentically that sweet?
Or, is he authentically this sweet? Is he like really having this connection with him? What is going on with Agent Morano? And then Gaetano, this poor fucking guy, this character is like, he is at odds. So let's watch it. And then we're going to jump back to it. You're going to see what we're talking about here.
Senses and decided to talk to us.
Talking? No, I'm not talking. I'm listening. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
for
not
Christ's
talking,
sakes,
I'm
you
listening.
guys bust my balls in Miami and now here?
We're trying to protect you, Gaetano.
Really? Protect me?
Great shot from outside the car here.
From what?
Are you serious? Protect you from going back to prison. Come on, you really want to go back there? Look, we both know we're going to be taking all you guys down. It's just a matter of time. But
Look at Gaetano. Check out his eyes. You see him?
You could save yourself.
Those baby
You're
blues.
Italian, right?
Yeah, my last name ends in a vowel just like yours.
Well, you're not a real Italian if you're going after your own people like this.
Going after my own people like this? Let me tell you something, Mr. Armenzo.
He gets a
My
little hot right
father,
here.
my hard-working father, who all he did was set out to try to make an honest living, he got shaken down by my so-called people. Week after week back in the day. Don't tell me about my people. What about your family?
Gaetano gives him a look like, I
mean,
sort of
your
care
real
about what you're saying. Sort
What
of.
does your dad do for a living?
My father passed away 4 years ago when I was in jail. And you bastards won't even let me out to go to his funeral.
Yeah, see? Like this.
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't
Just
know.
looks the
But it's
balance
not
here.
us bastards. Had I known that back then, I wouldn't have thought twice about granting you that wish.
I would have thought twice about granting you that wish.
He was a barber.
And then he gets him.
He used to cut hair
then he
in the
gets him.
neighborhood
See?
the best.
He connects.
You know, every time I think about him, I can still see him with that big smile on his face.
The fact that
his
he's
chin
opening up,
chest
that's
out.
how you know
Yeah,
we're in
no,
trouble.
he's got him. He's
Benny,
got
you
him.
shouldn't have slighted
You know,
him
he
at
came from
the
Sicily without a
Marino.
dollar in
He's
his
looking for a
pocket.
friend.
Yep.
This guy gets him. Oh, fuck.
He was the proudest man I ever known.
I'll bet he was. But let me ask you something.
Chris Mermando's a
How
fucking
did he
good actor.
feel about
really
the
is.
pass
He's a
you
good actor.
took?
So is Paul. These two, this scene gripped me. And I'll tell you, a really quick note here on how it's shot. If you notice, every shot is locked off except for Agent Morano's POV.
Yes,
is handheld.
his perspective
and you
is
catch
handheld.
his breath, so you catch all of that emotion that he's going through inside of it. It's a really well done. It's a really well done scene. All three actors did a great job, but let's face it, Chris Mermando, Paul Borghese, they stood out in this, and it's really one of those scenes that the storyline takes a shift.
Yes, that is definitely a turning point because the fact that he's opening up to to the agents.
Next scene is nighttime. Mikey the Hat and Benny are back at the yacht club, and they're talking about Caesar not being, from the streets. Big Rocco's there. He chimes in on how much he misses Charlie and how Charlie used to make them feel like he was one of us, right? He would go to the streets. And then Rocco brings up Chris's daughter getting punched in the face at the roller skating rink.
Yes. Rocco, once again, is he has such a big heart, you know what I mean? And he's just like, this wouldn't be happening if people were on the streets.
That's right.
So
just then Jimmy V walks up with another guy, and they're carrying Cabbage Patch dolls. Everybody who's of our age remembers Cabbage Patch and how freaking crazy people were for these dolls.
Xavier Roberts making big bucks in the 80s there.
That's right. You know all about that, don't you, honey?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Cabbage Patch dolls, everybody remembers Cabbage Patch as being a huge, like people fighting in the freaking aisles for the Cabbage Patch for their kids, you know what I mean? That's where Christmas really got ruined. It was right around then when it was like, I will fucking step on your head to make my daughter happy. And isn't that part of the Christmas spirit today? Fuck you, hooray for me.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Merry Christmas.
Cabbage Patch Kids and Tickle Me Elmo, I think,
Tickle Me Elmo
ruined Christmas, yeah.
So, and then Benny says, what do you got? Because we got a whole truckload of it. He goes, where do you got the truck? He says, right out front. He's like, I told you no swag here. So, of course, I love the term, right? Swag is I guess, stolen Jack goods.
Stolen Jack goods, exactly.
By the way, William DeMeo got his start with swag coffee makers and cigarettes on The Sopranos.
Yes, jacking those Mr. Coffees out the back.
Slang and Mr. Coffees brought me here. I saw a mem like that before. I wonder who made it. Anyway, so then Benny, they're at the Garage, which is a famous clothier in Brooklyn. Barry's up from Florida with Davey B. Come on, Sid with the smile.
Oh, with that smile. So nice.
And they're meeting with Benny. I think I do have a few seconds of it just because everybody looks so good. Let's just take a quick look on it. Yeah, here we go. Benny looks dynamite in this coat and glasses.
You might see him next week, Betty. He's coming down to New York.
There's Barry.
He's thinking of opening up some
He says that Santini's going to be opening up some. He says he's coming down from New York, coming down from Florida to look at fucking dealerships in New York, which is
we have
good.
your back, if need be.
And then
That's really good.
Barry just basically says, so this is another one of these scenes that Barry says, look, if there's a problem, Santini's got your back.
Santini's got your back, yeah. And even how Davey B is talking about it.
Davey B brings up, he's like, Ronaldo's not happy with this guy. He's unappreciative of everything that we do. Again, more farmers planting seeds in Benny's garden of Caesar's death, right? They're just like pushing him into that direction. Everyone he's close with is pushing him into this direction.
Yeah.
And then Benny says, hey, I got a new after hours club. Why don't you both come by? And then we jump to the after hours. Mike
Davey B had to fly back to Florida, yeah.
But then we go, and then here we are. Here we're at the after hours. And let's just take a look. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this club is stunning.
Hey, Benny.
Everyone's dressed nice, how we like to see people dressing up, going out.
How you like the joint?
And this is Fantasy Girl playing by Johnny O, if I'm not mistaken.
Just like I wanted it. Small and exclusive. I love this dance floor.
And the place looks nice. Everyone's dressed right. Hey, they got the light up floor like Saturday Night Fever. And then he tells him, Santo.
And guess what? His cousin is John Travolta. He promised me we could get him over here to sign this floor. Really?
He's going to sign the floor.
He's serious. I mean, only Santo could pull something like this off.
And then Santo says, and it's not just me. I got someone to help us. And here enters the new love interest.
Who's that? Her name is Roxanne. She helped me with this whole place, with the floor, with the lights.
Roxanne,
So Roxanne is played by Jen Jacob, and you may have seen her before in Law and Order. So right after that, Santo says, hey, Big Sally's waiting for you in the back.
Big Sally's waiting for you.
And we remember Big Sally from, I think it was the very first episode. Yes. He was the one who brought the message from Maddie Cigars that Benny had to go and talk to him about Gino's fight, if you remember correctly.
Yes,
so,
he's the one that said, you better.
So here we are in the back of Benny's After Hours. Got a little dancing in the back. Hey, there's Big Time Tommy Ramola.
Big Time Tommy.
Come on, we love you. Let's let him act, and then we'll talk about it.
Heard you in Florida. Yeah. Looks like you brought Florida back with you.
Looks like you brought Florida back with you. He says it's a good line.
Sure he is.
He's looking at Barry.
Yeah, there's Barry.
They can tell who doesn't fit in.
You know that thing that went down with that fucking kid Dominic? It's a disaster. I know.
Yeah, That's what it was. He was talking about Dominic. That's why he came over there. It was Dominic's thing.
Close to happening. I was furious, but I thought about it. You were put into a bad situation. I actually spoke to Maddie for you.
Well, it's just
did my best.
going back to the incident of where Dominic killed Maddie.
And he says he talked to Maddie for him. And
since that thing happened.
he hasn't been right. Maddie hasn't been right. His son was his life.
But I'm glad.
So,
it's
Big
all
Time Tommy.
straightened out, and there's peace right now. Because money is money, and there's tons of it that these guys above us are making together. I know.
And there we go. These guys above
I
us.
appreciate
Here's
you
another
stopping
one.
by.
Another one.
If you need anything here, you let me know.
So, you guys know Big Time Tommy. I mean, this guy, he is bigger than life. His jewelry's bigger
His
than life.
jewelry's bigger. He supplied all of the cars, all of the Cadillacs.
All the Cadillacs for Gravesend series were supplied by Big Time Tommy. We want to have you on the show, Tommy, so we can sit down and break down every car of Gravesend. We're going to do the cars of Gravesend with Big Time Tommy. It's going to be a show.
Can't wait.
All right, I was a spoiler. I shouldn't have said that. But I can see my wife is like, "Why are you telling him this?"
Does Tommy even know
Does
about
Tommy
this?
even know about this? We love your energy, Tommy. You bring a great, just a good vibe to the internet, quite frankly. I love how you love Clubhouse music. You're authentic. You make people feel good when you do what you do. And I just want you to continue and feel our love and support for the work that you do. So we love you on the show. So now we go back. Benny goes and introduces himself to Roxanne.
Yeah, Benny goes back there and introduces, and Roxanne's hanging out with her friend Charlene, who is played by Shakita Smith.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
then Benny says, "Hey, let's go have a drink at the bar." And Gaetano, you hang out here with Charlene. And then she says she checks on her girls. Are you okay?
And she doesn't take her eyes off. He said, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yes,
Ooh.
I'm okay." And you look dynamite in that orange, girl. Oof.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know what did it? It was Gaetano's Baby Blues.
You know, blue and orange, they're contrasting colors,
she saw
but they
that.
come together.
She melted right when that happened.
Yes.
So they go over to the bar and she kind of starts saying, the only move. She's talking about John Travolta and Saturday Night Fever, and she talks about the hair scene.
Yes, yes.
And he says, "You know the lines." She goes, "Well, I know the lines to that in Godfather." And so she's working them. You know what I mean?
And then she says, and there's a bit of a Godfather vibe here tonight. And he's like, "Oh, there is."
And she wants him to dance.
Yeah,
and
she wants
like,
to dance. He's like, "Well, no, I don't dance." And she's like, and she gets him too. She's like, I took you for somebody who's
That's what
different.
she did. She goaded him. She goaded Benny. And she's like, "I thought you were different." And he goes, "I am different."
Yeah.
And he's wearing a double-breasted suit. So, when you're wearing a double-breasted dancing, I was like, yeah, why is he taking his coat off? Because it's double-breasted. We needed a little bit of moving room. You know what I mean? And then when they're dancing, the dance floor is filled.
Yes.
Barry sees him, and he gets up and joins him.
Barry joins him as well.
And you know who's else dancing in the background?
Chris and Lisa.
I love seeing you guys. Come on. Chris and Lisa were dancing in the background. It was a real, it was a Brooklyn moment there. So just a great scene, and I loved seeing everybody in it, and that's part of what made it. And also the colors are really good in the scene. Yeah. So then we go back to Lenny's, closing up shop at Lenny's Pizza, and two guys in masks come up and give him a fucking beating with a bat and a pipe.
Yeah.
He says, what he says, it's not even Halloween.
It's not even Halloween yet. What's wrong with you two? And then they just hit him. It was no headshots. It was all body shots.
Yeah, it was all body. Got him in the knee. They got him in the kidney.
And everything.
And then the next scene, you see Big Rocco's black four-door Seville Caddy. And now
dun, dun, dun.
At this point, when you see this black four-door Caddy, it just feels like things are happening, right? Someone's going to get whacked out. And sure enough, he gets into a van with two other guys. And one of the guys looks like one of the guys from Iggy's crew when they were lumping up the guy with the bets.
Oh, Giacomo. When they were lumping up Giacomo.
God,
we saw this character there before. Yeah.
That looked like him that was driving.
Yeah.
And then they put the black mask on and they pull up, and the Polish kids who hit Chris Telva's daughter, they're smoking these fucking angel dust cigarettes.
They're out there doing the dips.
They're like, "Oh, these dips are
these
good."
Dips are so good.
Yo, you look like a fucking jackstick with
right,
the dips, all right?
Do
people still do that shit?
Oh,
Jesus Christ. So then Big Rocco comes out, the mask comes out, fucking lights him up right there on the stoop. Done.
Yeah.
Fade to black. They're done. They're not down for breakfast. Another great episode. And I just got to know who ordered the hit on the Polacks. And then I'm just going to bring it back where I said in the beginning of the episode, remember Billy Lansing with the White Sox?
Billy Landon, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Lansing.
Yeah,
the guy that they
Billy.
He had white socks and black shoes, and then we killed the Polacks at the end. I don't know if any college got that. I'm not going to go any further. So anyway,
Let's not.
So who ordered the hit? Was it Iggy? Was it Benny? Did Tina call Benny and tell him what happened and he overreacted? And I almost don't know. Like, is it overreacting? Right? Because they killed these kids.
These kids weren't
They didn't catch a beating. It wasn't like
and they were kids.
So, and it was done out in the open, in the neighborhood. So I don't know. It's an interesting scene. So I don't know if this is all going to come back in the future.
I wonder if this was a strategic move to put Benny in a weird position again.
I don't know.
To be determined.
To be determined. This is what's so fun about the Gravesend series. Every time you finish an episode, you're left hanging. You want to know what happened. And I know when you watch the Talking Gravesend podcast, we fill you in on all the stuff that happened. That's why you guys tune in. And we're so happy and proud of you for sticking around to the end of episode 5 in season 2. Thank you so much for following along and really going on the journey with us of really diving into what we believe is the greatest organized crime time period piece streaming today.
Absolutely, Chris.
Let's give them some calls to action and get out of here, Lisa.
All right. So we are the Talking Gravesend podcast. Please like and subscribe to this video. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Share the show. Give us some put us on your feed. Share the show. We need subscribers.
Yeah.
We need followers. We got to boost this whole thing into the stratosphere because we believe in everybody's performances, the locations, the producers.
The show's really
good. The costume, the makeup, every aspect of Gravesend really hits home, and it helps the complete story. Because you know what, Lisa? I lose myself when I watch the show, and that's why I watch programs.
Yes, absolutely.
You got problems. I got problems. We don't want to hear about them.
I want to watch someone else's problems on TV.
Thank you.
And escape mine for a little while.
So while you're doing that, make sure you go ahead, like Lisa said, follow Talking Gravesend podcast on all the social channels. Make sure you follow the Gravesend series on Instagram and Facebook page, and go ahead and watch them on Amazon Prime and Tubi. Go ahead and make sure you tag Tubi and Amazon. Tell them what a great job and how much we inspire you to watch their programming because we want to keep doing all
Tell them Chris and Lisa sent you.
Tell them Chris and Lisa sent you. All right. As always, let's say goodbye, and we'll see you on episode 6.
All right. We'll see you on the streets.
As always, ciao.
Ciao.